Hi, I'm Jacob Adams,
I'm Danny.
And I'm Nicole.
and today we'll be talking about thirst traps. And how we got into the discussions. We were talking about algorithms. Daniela
Magic Mike.
Daniela had brought up how the algorithm is important, and it kind of shows you what your interests are. And I was like, oh, that's crazy, blah blah blah. And I knew she has a good point. Like maybe you're watching this video because the algorithm brought this to you. I don't know. Maybe you're looking up thirst trap or what is a thirst trap, whatever. So first off, what is a thirst trap, ladies?
It's a video or a specific kind of content. It could be OnlyFans, it could be Instagram posts, Snapchat, TikTok, picture, a little video. It could be any specific content of something that brings seduction, something that brings mysterious, something that like lures you and pulls you to a state of mind where it creates a fantasy. So it's like a type of thirst trap can be a state where you picture yourself, oh, like I want to look that sexy, or it can be fantasizing where it's trying to seduce you in a way where like I can please you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like it's very different types of content of a thirst trap, and it honestly is just seduction and with it.
So how do you see it? How do you see it? Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah, that was a really good description. But even further than that, it's like marketing yourself in a way where you can get something. You have value. You in a way like your seductive value. So you use that to seduce them into likes, into buying your OnlyFans. Like it's actually going to be a beneficial transaction for the person who's thirst trapping. But the people that usually fall into the trap because it's a thirst trap, they're not aware of what they're being sold.
You don't think they're aware?
Some are aware and some aren't. It could be, it's very like 50-50.
You think it's a 50-50?
Yeah, because there's a lot of kids out there not like.
Oh, because they're little kids.
They're like preteens, you know, or they're like middle school.
And they're seeing like these sexy scenes,
and it brings insecurities, and it brings off seduction. It brings off like temptation to little boys and like insecurities to like little like women.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So like,
I agree. Yeah.
What are you saying?
To me, I see the thirst trap culture. I see it like a culture now, where the thirst trap culture is just like, it seems like if you want to create clout immediately online or gain traction, that's one of the quickest ways to do it. Where it's like even if you're a dude, you just collect pictures of other OnlyFans girls, and you kind of create like a menagerie or like a collage of these other chicks. And that's sort of just to get like, you say followers, something like that. So there's like it seems to be this sort of, it's almost like a vice. It's almost like cigarettes. I have enough time. Yeah, I see it now as like the modern junk food. Like it's like going to McDonald's or something. It's like, dude, it's not going to serve you. You're going to waste time. You're just going to be lured into maybe, oh, this chick's got an OnlyFans, blah, blah, blah. At first, like say if I go back years, yeah, like I would follow these models, but then I deleted.
It's not the model's fault.
I deleted them last year because I was like, I got tired of it being on my feed. I was like, I don't want this anymore because there's this concept of, it's almost like hijacking the brain. And for males, this is how it is. I don't know how it is for women. No, for real, it's a thing of like, if you get so into the content of these thirst traps, it kind of plays with your dopamine levels. Like I said, I don't know how much you know about this, but I researched it. And so there's a hijacking of your actual brain neurochemistry. And so it's very unhealthy. Like it isn't free. Like you are literally playing with your neurochemistry and sort of elevating your dopamine levels, but it's artificial. That's why it's junk food. It almost has a similar effect to basically drugs. And so I don't really think it's as cutesy or like whatever as I once did. I admittedly, I used to think it was harmless. I used to think like, oh, whatever. But now I see it as it's junk food. There was a moment, the moment where it all broke for me, where I was like, wow, I see it totally different. Is somebody put it like that. They were like, pornography and content like this is the high fructose corn syrup of like intimacy. And I saw it like,
It can kill, like,
and I was like, dude, high fructose. And you know what it was? And you're not gonna believe me. You won't believe me, but I was like, I don't eat high fructose corn syrup, so I'm not gonna watch that. Like it was a moment of like,
It's like I don't do
you know what it was? I swear to you, I said to myself, so in a way, I'm cheating on my diet. I promised you, I was like, I'm low key cheating on my diet right now, and I just stopped.
True.
So that was my full, transparent, vulnerable moment.
It desensitizes you as well.
Yeah,
like
honestly.
you brought up with romantic involvements and reality to Instagram, social media is not always portraying reality. So whenever you're stuck in that way of thinking where you view it the world from that lens and you're actually immersed in reality itself, you're gonna be disappointed. And not only that, but there's just not that essence of that fantasy there.
I get you.
Okay, so you're saying that in real life, it's different, kind
Oh,
of.
for sure. Yeah, you don't get to just pay. Oh, I mean, there are ways that you can pay a girl to see her, and that.
It is not. It's not the same. There's no filters. You're right. And if you get into.
Yeah, it doesn't create like a state of mind of like people want things. They want the feeling of wanting more than actually wanting it. You know what I
So
mean?
go into that. That's pretty deep.
True.
So like people, and that's why like people who play like hot and cold games, like that's how they're so seductive. You know what I mean? Because people want to feel the need of like wanting things. They want to need something. People like the desire. People like to spend their money. You know. So it's like once they have it, it's like okay, well, now what? Like you know.
Yeah.
So people are just like that. It's natural. I don't know why. I need to do my research. But do you know what I mean?
Break it down a little more. It's pretty interesting.
I really don't know. Like.
Well, I mean, okay, let's slow down. So I'm thinking.
Info I can like.
Okay, yeah, but it's. I think it was really. Don't you think it's pretty deep? I think it's deep. Do you not?
Well, yeah, I think that the hot and cold game works so well because after they get what they thought they wanted, then they're wanting more because you draw back on what you just gave them. And so there's always like a repeated cycle instead of an end goal to the game.
I was telling her, we made a video yesterday. She kind of brought up the hot cold thing, or how some people do play with people, and it's like, and I think it's the grossest thing to do, like on the sinister way, like a little bit is fine because it's flirty, but it's a little, yeah. But then there's like people that go so deep into the psychology, like they just want to like take someone's self-esteem down to nothing, and I think that's like, dude, that's what you want to go down as,
but like the OnlyFans and the thirst trapping, like. I think it's like more of like a game, like a fantasy, like you know.
Not only that, but it's easily accessible.
It's easily like, and it's more easy to trust because like you know, you're not actually seeing that person, so you're in your own comfort.
Yeah,
I mean, so,
in real life, you have to socialize with the woman.
You have to socialize with the woman, and then it causes them to overthink. Like, what if I'm like good enough? Like, what if she's crazy? What if she, you know? Like, it brings them thoughts, and like when people overthink, they don't buy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So whenever they're like giving into that, they're almost giving into their amnesty as well.
Yeah.
That's so funny. What if people overthink, they don't buy?
They don't buy because they overthink. Because people think. When you make a decision, it's like, okay, here's my money, take it. Next.
People overthink what?
It's like they overthink things, like situations. Like, should I buy this? Do I need it? Do I really need it, or I just want it? You know what I mean? So like, once you give them that fantasy of like wanting, and they are gonna want it so much, and it's like they're comfortable. They're comfortable in their own home. It's like when you're comfortable, you just make decisions fast. There's no one stopping. There's no like.
It's private.
It's private.
You can do it private. Your little phone. Your little phone.
And it's like you're seeing these thirst traps. You want more. You want more. And it's like if you're male perspective, it's like okay, well, I will spend my money on it, you know, and I am comfortable, and I do want like it's a desire. You know what I mean? So and it makes him like probably gain more weight because he's comfortable in his own home. Like he's probably gonna be more broke. You know what I mean? So and it's not the model's fault. She's trying to make money. She's trying to make money, and then she's like just trying to find a way to survive, to compete, to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the guy's fault. It's
the guy's fault. It's the guy's fault. Come on, that's a two-way street there. I love how.
Yeah, and it's the.
How is that only one-sided? Come on.
It is. Her
So-
job is given to her by the man.
Let me finish. It's if a woman.
I'm not. I can't believe I'm listening to this.
Hey, let me finish. If a woman's like that, you know, also like buying let's say like fitness model, like men can be like into thirst traps too. There's men that like produce and like make content.
I'll tell you how I agree, but finish.
So even it's a woman's fault also for buying it. Like she's just gonna like it's. There's no specific gender. Like if you're just in that position, if you're the buyer, you're fucked. Like Imagine, like you know what I mean? Like
here's how I agree how it's the men's fault. This is how I agree. And I don't fully agree. I do think definitely women are part of this dance. Okay, because they're the ones producing the content. Come on, I think that we just like no, it has nothing to do with it. It's like come on.
But it's business.
Self-control though. Like if she's controlling you, but based off of her content, then you don't have the self-control.
No, well, I'm fine.
You know?
I'm fine.
Saying the man.
Yeah. So don't say you then.
It's business.
You guys.
You're still throwing me in there. You're still throwing me in there.
It's business. I'm not kidding. It's business.
I like how she goes, it's business. but the way she said it was like so like
Nicole.
Yeah, it's business.
Well, you said that like the thirst trap is overplayed, but it keeps they keep it up because it's working.
I'm gonna tell you why it's overplayed now. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Whatever, dude. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Whatever. Like you're gonna hate it already. You already hate it. You already hate that it's overplayed. This is why it's overplayed. Remember I was talking. I'll make this a meta explanation. Okay. At the beginning of our conversation, I told you about how Andrew Huberman is a neuroscientist at Harvard. I started a conversation with that. I talked about how red light therapy is a emerging technology that is also going to be projecting into trends. I, as a leader in this industry, and for what I'm about to say, will also be part of the collective consciousness that will lead to fulfilling what I'm about to say. So this becomes very meta. When people like myself speak and say it is now the new junk food, and I say that, immediately it creates, just like when I was talking about amnesty, which is our next subject, it immediately creates a wedge anyone that trusts me, and they now have to listen because it makes sense logically. And then I break it down to say the dopamine, hijacking of dopamine. I've given now constructs they can look up. And so as these constructs look up and people want to level up, because leveling up is the name of the game in life and winning is, and I say you must get rid of thirst traps and pornography in your life if you want to level up. Naturally, it puts it so that trends as they develop are slowly going to be removed. Because as we talked about, our comfort in this conversation means that we're comfortable talking about it because it's become so mainstream. And in that mainstream, that means that the supply has become almost at a critical mass. That has now become a common conversation. Yeah, of course. Elon Musk, one of the wealthiest men in the world, said Instagram is basically a thirst trap. So now, by stacking all of these evidences and giving you my position, I, as a leader in this world, have now propagated the point where getting rid of thirst traps becomes the standard. Okay? Just like you are now into dieting because it's becoming the way to be, right? Way to be, no, but if you decided to become into dieting and change and weigh and get your food because you wanted to win and stand out as a winner and be someone that influences. So as people want that same thing, especially men, and people like me are saying, you want to influence, you must get rid of those thirst traps. Now it becomes trendy, just like red light therapy. And I connect it to neurochemistry, like Andrew Huberman talks about. And so this becomes a collective conscious conversation. Now you are going to take the same conversation and tell amongst your friends eventually, whether it's a year or 5 years from now. It will start trending in 5 to 10 years, where it will be common conversation. Once it becomes common conversation, then it will trickle into the consciousness of the average person. And now if at that point you're into thirst traps, you're out of date. You're no longer trendy. And so the trending thirst traps become a thing of the past. Something that is like, that's passe, dude. And that's my TED Talk.
Well, I think that you're kind of harping on the fact that it's like a conscious decision, but I think that thirst traps just feed so much on their innate desire.
Neurochemistry.
Yes, their neurochemistry.
The hijacking of the brain.
Desire that even if they wanted to stop, there's some people that won't because they can't.
Well, yeah.
They don't want to choose to because they're so embedded in their amnesty.
That's a great position, which makes it so a great point. I really appreciate that. Let's move on to the next subject. What's amnesty? Whatever. I'm fine with it. I'm still very fine with my position, 100%.
Honestly, it's just a really, it's a dark side of the instinct. So you know how I said like trust your gut.
Well, amnesty itself is a good thing, but
it's like
it's like let's give. You want to frame it?
It could be dark side.
Yeah, of course it is.
Everything has a dark side to it. Everything, like an instinct and amnesty, like it's like it tells you, it's like a voice. It's like the dark side that's not trying to help you.
Calls you to deviate off track sometimes.
To get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
To get comfortable with the world and society. And honestly, that's just an influence of other people's behaviors.
The way we're talking about it is the amnesty of everyday application is we want to get up early to work out. The alarm rings at 5:30. There's a split second there, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 10, whether it's 15, maybe it's 20, where it's like, maybe today you don't need to go. What's one day? And so, you're doing so good. What's one day? And that's seduction. There's a seduction to be like, it's okay.
It's okay.
And that amnesty is that. Yeah, like
you worked hard.
The amnesty is that protection of your hard work. Yeah. So
tell them about like we were working out. Like we still have been working out in the morning. We get up at like 6:30 or try to be there at 6:30. We've been going a little late, but like we need to get there earlier. So there's people who we saw work out with us at 6 a.m, but they were afternoon like people who used to work out. So they wanted to work out in the morning. Great, I support them. Go for it. Get your workout done, and you have the rest of the day off for you and your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but they were there for a while, and it was getting packed. But then today there was no one.
Mm-hmm.
It was empty. So, what can you tell them that? What do you think?
For me, that was a great moment because of our dedication, our hard work, our resilient mindsets, our ability to face the dark side. The reason I'm prouder of these 60 days than almost anything. Like, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, so proud, so proud. Look at me, so proud. Why? Like, no, I want to just be that proud because I think if I had a Corvette, I probably would be prouder of this. Because it's like, it's hard work. Yeah, it's hard work. Because it's soul. It's your soul.
Yeah, your soul.
You know what I mean? And I don't like it when the world around us is built to celebrate like mediocrity or average or it's okay or like the place of amnesty. That when you just push against it and win, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Would you want to say anything about it?
For amnesty?
Or this concept, how we're talking about it?
Well, amnesty is more like the tomorrow argument. Like, I can always do it tomorrow. You push it off because you give into that voice that tells you it's okay not to be at your best. But whenever you're not at your best, you're still supposed to give your 100% that you can. If I'm functioning at 50% capacity, I'm still going to give 100% of that 50%. And that's where the progress comes. That's where you get results.
Right.
But whenever you're stuck in being comfortable, well, I feel like 50% of my full capacity, so I'm just going to take an extra rest day. Whenever you don't calculate it to the point where, do I feel 50% because I didn't hit my marks? Or was it more so I don't feel 50% just because it's my body talking to me? Maybe I do need that rest day. Whenever you look at it in that perspective, that's whenever you can make decisions that are actually going to benefit you. But amnesty leads you to make decisions based off of your desire. And my desire to stay comfortable is in turn going to stop me from growing. Yeah.
At the end of the day, resilience is at the core of a winner. Resilience. And so whether it's like that's why I'm so proud of what we've done so far is like, do you have the courage, the backbone to get up? No matter how seductive it is, do you have the courage to keep going? And to keep going. And that really is, to me, the mark of a true champion. It's like, people think this, you have doubts, they have doubts, and it's like, but deep down within yourself, in the center of that storm, do you still believe? Eminem has a song, and I showed it to Nicole once. It's like, "Do you still believe? Do you still believe?" And that's why it's such a powerful. That's why Eminem's such a powerful lyricist. Doesn't matter. I'm not gonna get into that.
Just for like reference.
We don't have to talk about that.
Okay.
But do you still believe?
Yes.
So, I'm done talking. We could end it now.
Oh
I think that was
That's a Lala moment. That's a male. That's Lala. Ladies, any closing ideas?
Honestly, no.
Good for me. Good. You go.
I was gonna say it's you versus you, so conquer your amnesty.
You versus you. You versus your self-reflective.
I-
You versus your dark side.
I think it's all connected. The concept of the thirst traps and having resilience. I think you win those little. I think you win those little battles. It lets you, saying no to thirst traps, saying no to porn. It lets you have something within yourself that it's like, I'm gonna get up. It lets you face the world with a type of aggression and certainty that you wouldn't if you gave into these little junk foods, these little dopamine fixes. And
you're gonna feel like shit. You're gonna be broke, and you're
Less
gonna be
productive.
fat, less
Less
productive,
productive because
and
of
you're gonna get
dopamine.
fat. Once you get fat,
And you can become addicted to it because your
Yeah.
dopamine, every time you get a hit, and then now you're depleted.
it's like
You go
drogas.
throughout your day, and your dopamine levels are depleted. You aren't gonna feel that same.
what is your opinion, ladies, if a guy watches a lot of thirst traps and even adult entertainment? What is your opinion of him?
Honestly,
Be honest. Don't hold back.
Honestly, I say, okay, well, that's great. You have your own desires. You have your own fantasy and perception of women. Like, he has this type.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? He likes it. He likes that.
Mhm.
So it's like, okay, well, you can like it, but does it benefit you?
Hmm.
Okay, for me, I'm like, I understand your nature, and I understand that that's how you are going to be innately. That animal primal instinct is being acted upon. But I think a real man can conquer himself and
Yeah,
have self-control and discipline.
It doesn't it proves to that person, it proves to himself that he has no self-control.
Who taught you that a real man can conquer? Where did you learn that? What kind of TikTok video did you watch?
From real men in my life.
Okay.
It was real
Because
serious, baby.
I genuinely have seen people that have no self-control, and I don't respect you.
Wow.
If you're gonna be a male figure in my life, and
Yeah, and
you
if you have
can't
no
control that,
self-control, no
Yeah, yeah,
discipline,
yeah.
why should I look to you as a leader?
Look at
Exactly,
that. Look
because
at
men
that.
are leaders.
See, and you see how this conversation is helpful to. No, I'm saying, think about the men that will watch this. You as ladies saying that, it's going to inspire them to get rid of the thirst trap. I'm saying this is a change in consciousness, and it is going to happen.
Yeah.
And I look forward to it because I don't think either party wins, neither the man nor the content creator of that.
What?
Because
I think it's the man, because the content creator, she getting money. She making business. She gives no freaks about that man. She's like, okay, next, money.
Well, he thinks
Next
it's a cheap
money.
trick because pretty much any girl can go on the
Any
internet
girl,
half
yeah.
naked. So
Well,
that's why it's
I don't think it's
look, it is my perspective. I understand that it's business.
I respect
No,
it.
do you though?
I
Do you though?
do. I do.
Do
Yeah.
you respect it?
I do, yeah.
That was the best place to end it.
Okay.
Let's just end it
Bye,
there.
guys.
Bye.